Hello everybody, Tyrone TG3 here, Pocket the Monster, Had Zones, episodes, I gotta go back now, we are going episodes 90 and 91. These episodes are Take to the Sky, Once More, Part 1 and 2. So, this is it. The time skip. We have officially reached a 1-year confirmed time skip, which is something Pokemon's never done before. And yes, I talked about it in the time skip long video that was on the Twitch channel. But, I guess we can get in depth with it now, mostly on Roy's side though. I'm gonna be honest, Liko doesn't really do any big advancements in the year, but she openly talks about how she didn't do anything major. Yeah, she trained, she battled a little bit, but other than that, it's nothing really earth shaking, nothing big. Roy is the one that changed the most here. He's the one that's more resourceful now. He's the one that has communication with the Rising Volt Tacklers on separate occasions. He's the one that knows what to do. He's the one that even is leading the charge of his own team, which is him being followed by his rival and I guess apprentice, Ult or Urto is what people are calling him. I'm going to call him Ult because it's easier, like Ultimate. I do not care for Ult right now because mostly he's relegated to, I say mega in front of most stuff. That's mega annoying, or I'm mega ready. You're not mega gonna give up. I was like, oh God, you're a lot. You're definitely gonna be a lot to deal with. But honestly, he's an expected trope. And let's be real, he's mostly to show off how much Roy himself has grown. They needed a less mature character to make Roy the more mature character by comparison. And obviously they have to kind of do this because, again, Pokemon's never really done something like this before. The closest we get is Pokemon X and Y, with Ash greatly maturing in X and Y to a very, very competent main character, to the point where other characters flat out look up to him or ask for advice, or he'll lead the charge, or he'll know what to do. There's never a moment where you look at XY Ash and you go, he seems kind of just taken back by the situation and is not sure what move to make. No, that was a very confident Ash. That was a very well-written Ash. And here we see that Roy is pretty much the way they have to show his competence is by making a lesser character look up to him. Although I will give Ult this. Ult does do a good job of kicking him back into gear. Because while Roy has grown over the year, you can still see that there's parts of him that seem a little unsure sometimes. So when he's thinking too much, Ult will come in and just go fist ablazing, and then that'll snap Roy back into battle mode, which I think is fine. Roy's team consists of the Kilowattrel that was still there. It does a little bit more now. It consists of Crocolore, which is still a Crocolore for some reason. Some people in the comments when I talked about this on Twitter stated that it probably wants to wait until it sees Charizard again in order to evolve into Skeledirge. The idea being is that it wants Charizard to see it at its best. So he's openly holding himself from evolving into Skeledirge until it's the right time. That, or we have to be in a moment where Crocolore's in enough danger to warrant it to turn into Skeledirge. Whatever. The point is, that's where we are right now. It does seem weird, but I guess whatever. It is what it is. The next member of his team is Pikachu, Captain Pikachu. Basically temporarily let Roy use Pikachu, I guess. Or in this situation, Roy's using Pikachu until they find Freed again, or he might be dead. So Pikachu is being captained by Roy now, which, fine, whatever. And then last but not least, the newcomer of the group has no explanation for how it's caught right now. But hopefully, because I trust Pokemon Horizons, we will get a flashback episode of how Roy got Lucario. Now, personally, I want Roy to get Lucario while it's a Riolu. I think it would make more sense that within the year's time and those months and days while Roy was getting older, Riolu evolves into Lucario. They find the Lucario Knight. They learn about Mega Evolution. They get a Mega Stone. And then, boom, we get our Mega Lucario. That makes a lot more sense, and I can digest that a lot easier than Roy just caught some Lucario that was shiny, just happened to have Lucario Knight, and then Mega Evolved it all right away. I'm guessing the idea here is that Roy and Ult both took the same training in order to learn Mega Evolution while they were in Kalos. So I'm hoping that's exactly how they decided to handle this. If not, then it is kind of awkward that Ult can also use Mega Evolution with the Sableye just in the exact same spot. But then again, they both met in Kalos. Point is, that's pretty much what we're seeing. And in the first episode, we see that Roy is dealing with a slacking situation. Slacking still has a bit of the Raccoon in it, like a lot of other Pokemon do, where like bits of the Raccoon residue is making the Pokemon go crazy. Now, Rising Voltaclers are taking the blame for this, unfortunately, so they're the ones taking the heat. Meanwhile, when we see Roy, he goes to meet back up with Liko at the academy. Liko meets up with Roy towards the end of it, and then we move on to our next episode. Majority of that first episode is literally just Roy and Ult handling the slacking situation, while this episode more or less covers Liko's half of the episode. And Liko's taking classes. We actually get to see Anne again, which is really good. I kind of wish they had given Anne one more Pokemon. Like, she's the one that's battling in order to go to the Pokemon League. It's weird that she literally only has 2 Pokemon. And literally, it's just Duat evolved into Samurai. That's it. That's all that happened in the year, is that she still has Sandslash and Samurai, no third Pokemon to accompany it. Seems kind of odd that she doesn't, like, I would have given her at least one more mid-stage evolution Pokemon, just to show that she caught something else on her way, or something to really give us the idea that a year has passed. Again, this is why doing a year in Pokemon is kind of tricky, because you need to give it enough development to where you can believe something happened off screen, but at the same time, you still need to make it gradual enough to where it's digestible. Like, obviously, you can't just pile on a bunch of Pokemon on the trainer, but you can at least make a Pokemon evolve here or two, or you can make them catch a Pokemon here or two, just to show that there's some notable progress, and then we can do flashbacks later on when we do heavily character-focused episodes. Point being, when they're there, I love that Anne knows about the Rising Voltaclers and the other students don't. I do like that. I like that level that Anne's just cool enough with Liko and Roy to understand the majority of what happened. Because most of the students that are like looking at Roy and Liko are the younger students. Liko at this point is a second year, so the younger students are first years that know nothing, which is good. It allows us to see the perspective of characters that don't know and characters that do know. I like that. And the whole Rising Voltaclers, like, are the bad guy situation. I love that a year has passed and rumors are spreading around about it. So now they have to be a lot more careful about how they distribute information, about how they talk to each other. Roy flat out says that he's a part of the Rising Voltaclers, and I'll tackle that in a minute. But from there, we get a lot of battles this episode. We get a battle between Anne versus Roy. And to show Roy off, he has to win this battle, unfortunately. So Lucario basically stomps out Samurai. And then from there, we see that Masquerada wants to battle while Liko is sort of unsure about what to do because she feels like she hasn't really grown much in the year that's passed. Meanwhile, Roy has developed a lot. He's got a new Lucario. He's got a new attitude. He's got a more confident, like, stance on himself. He's gotten a lot stronger. So it's very clear that even now, he's got admirers too. So people see that he's taking more of a charge while Liko's starting to doubt herself. Then Masquerada kicks her into gear, and then Roy and her have a battle. And I'm going to be honest, Roy did not deserve to win this fight at all. I'm sorry. Even with the type disadvantage, I fully understand. No. Liko was kicking his ass. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. And before that, I want to take a sidestep here to talk about something else. So during the battle, we actually get a remix of Area Zero. Now, I've completely forgot to talk about this, and the last part, the final part of the series, right before we got the time skip, they did this version of Area Zero when Freed was like falling to his death. They played a remix of Area Zero, and honestly, I love the remix. Beautiful remix of Area Zero, and I like that it's used even longer here in the battle. My biggest problem? They should have used it in Area Zero. What the hell? Like when they were fighting Gouging Fire and Rayquaza, they could have used it there. They didn't use it at all. That makes me more mad. Because in the episodes prior, when you heard me talk about their fight against Gouging Fire and Rayquaza, I said that they could use music from Area Zero. They can use the stuff from Area Zero. Instead, Area Zero felt like a backdrop. My biggest problem here now is they have the remixed Area Zero, and it's a great remix. But they didn't fucking use it in Area Zero! Like, what the hell is this? What is this? What is this? Why? Why go through the trouble of making such a great remix and didn't even bother to use it in the area where it would have been perfectly fine to use the remix? Why? Why do this? Whatever. Pokemon music's always been weird. Getting back to the topic, Roy didn't deserve to win this battle at all. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like, he didn't. He did not deserve to win this fight. I don't care about type advantage or type disadvantage. Liko was beating the absolute crap out of Crocolore. Like, Liko and Masquerada were using Flower Trick. They were using invisible wiring. They had like these cool strategies behind how they did it, the acrobatics. They had like a whole good strategy going. And for reasons unknown, they lost. Yeah, they just lost. They just lost. And it's fucking lost. Yeah, it's sloppy. It's very sloppy. And here's my other problem with it. Literally, the time skip idea is beautiful until we hit these the second episode, and then it all falls apart. The battle looks ugly. Like, oh God. I'm not even comparing Pokemon Horizons to like XY or anything, because that's unfair. I'm comparing Pokemon Horizons to Pokemon Horizons. Whenever I think of what a good battle in Pokemon Horizons is, I always look back to like the first few episodes of Horizons, like the first 2 episodes that came out, and we see that fight against Ametheo and Freed on the rooftop. That's how Pokemon Horizons starts. And that's what we get for the start of Horizons. I'm putting battles on that standard. And for some reason, this is the first fight. And you know what? Even if we took that out, I'll compare Pokemon Horizons to Pokemon Horizons, and I'll compare Liko and Roy's fight to Liko and Roy's fight. If you don't know what I mean, I more specifically am talking about Liko's battle against Roy at in the final exams of the Naraha Academy tournament. That one is a good example. It's Liko and Roy fighting each other with Floragato and Fuecoco. And that right there, that is a better example. That battle looks better. That battle uses all the right things. That battle is a prime example of what this battle should be looking like. And for some reason, this battle looks like doo-doo. Straight up doo-doo. Just doo-doo. Just like, what? Bro, what is this animation? My biggest issue with this is that they gave us about, I think, 1 or 2 weeks. It was a 1 or 2 week gap between this episode, between these episodes and the last ones before the time skip. So we got about 2 weeks. That's a good 2-week break. They should have put their foot in this fight. They didn't even need to make Anne's fight against Roy good. Like, that one, they could have just... You can use your B-team animators for that. I don't care. But the fight against Liko and Roy, There is no excuse why that fight looks like that. No excuse. No excuse at all. This is supposed to be the time skip. This is supposed to be a time skip. And for some reason, this is what this looks like. Like dead ass. Really? Are you serious? And it's got a bad result. Masquerada just loses for reasons unknown. Every time Liko fights Roy, at this point at least, Liko just loses. Like, literally, for reasons we'll never understand, she just loses fights. And I'm like, what? But why? But why lose the fight? Like, it's very clear, even though Crocolore probably gotten better, Liko and Masquerada have shown to be clearly better in the fight. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. The flow of the fight is literally just them using flower trick and invisible wires to screw with them the whole fight. And then the only time they get a hit in for real is the flame charge at the end. That's terrestrialized. So yeah, same type attack bonus plus fire terra. But Liko was winning the entire fight over before that. Like, it's not even close. Whatever. Point is, we learn, the kids learn that they're all a part of the Rising Volt Tacklers. Liko owns up to being a Rising Volt Tackler. Now, here's my deal. Another part I don't like about the episode, sadly, this is a big deal. Like, the Rising Volt Tacklers, for all intents and purposes on the news, are known throughout the regions now, basically as terrorists. But for reasons unknown, the kids don't take this seriously at all. Like, all their seriousness about the situation immediately kind of just drops right here. The kids learn it, and then they just let Liko and Roy go. Like, it's not even like a... Like, even if Liko got expelled from the school, then that would have, like, a layer of depth to it. Like, whoa, what? Or something. Or maybe the battle influenced the kids and made the kids go, wow, maybe the Rising Volt Tacklers aren't that bad. And then Liko's like, hey, let's spread the word and tell everybody that the Rising Volt Tacklers aren't bad people. And then Anne vouches for them, and maybe the kids... Like, they never dig deep into this at all. Literally, after Liko says that, they just jump to her leaving. Literally, she changes her outfit, so now we get her official time-skipped outfit, and then they just leave. Anne meets them off at the bus stop. But after that, like, that's it. That's it. That's literally it. That is all we get. We get nothing else. They don't dig deep into this. None of the kids in the school, like, maybe one of the kids looks and is like, hey, and like she acts scared about it. We've seen 2 Rising Volt Tacklers at our school today, and then they tell them, and then like maybe the authorities know, and they start making calls to like the Exploiters or something. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's never some kids that are like kind of weary of them, but there's some kids that like kind of have their back, so we have this like mental debate over who's right or who's wrong. They never dig into any of this. It's literally just grazed over. Completely, no one cares. We just move on to the next thing. Who cares? Like, bro, what? This is a big deal. The Rising Volt Tacklers are basically viewed as bad guys. Are we not going to do anything about it? Are we not going to talk about it? Are we not going to dig about it? Like, it feels very disingenuous that they can just still use the name and the moniker without any consequences. The blame was put on them in national live television, and everybody's just sort of, all right. Like, there's never a point where they expose who the Rising Volt Tacklers are, so now they gotta go stealth mode when they go to different regions. Or there's a moment where they have to hide their names and go undercover. Maybe they gotta change the Brave Asagi a little bit to make it so nobody knows what it is. Like, they're not doing any of that. It almost just feels like an inconvenience. It would be like if Officer Jenny said, everybody be on the lookout for Team Rocket. And then Jesse, James, and Meowth show up in town, and everybody looks and goes, aren't you all a part of Team Rocket? And they go, Meowth, that's right. Well, all right then. And then they all just walk around like nothing's that. Like, it feels stupid to me that nothing's being done about this. It feels very nonchalant. Like, this is not how you handle this. But regardless, I don't want to go into too much of a tangent. pretty much that's what went down in Pokemon Horizons, as we can see. Also, Roy left Alt behind. They had like a hangout session in the first episode, and then Roy immediately like catches a ride on Kilowattrel and flies off, leaving Alt behind. But based on the previews of what we'll see next episode, they're literally going to meet him right afterwards. I guess they wanted to save that for later. But episode 92 is called Follow the Requiem Signs. I'm going to give these two episodes combined a 6 out of 10. I know. You don't have to tell me. I'm aware. Sorry. It's just, this is supposed to be a time skip. And I'm going to be honest. Oh, they talk about Terapagos not coming out of its Pokeball either. They briefly graze over it. They basically say it's probably tired from the events of what happened. It's not that big of a deal. But from what we get here, I'm sorry, I gotta give it a 6 out of 10. Honestly, I want to give it a little bit lower. I'm debatably probably gonna give it a 5. Roy's great. The development with him is fine. Everything else afterwards feels so underwhelming for a time skip. This is a big moment in Pokemon, not just in Horizons, and Pokemon history. And we get greeted with very sloppy writing, underdeveloped characters from the time skip after a year has passed, battle animations that look subpar. Like, this is our time skip? That's supposed to be a time skip. Even if the episode had looked really crisp, that would have been enough. I could excuse the other things. If the episode had very beautiful, crisp art and animation, I could kind of let the other things go and then just go on about them as the show goes on, and we could dig deeper and hopefully maybe they fix those problems. Here, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. Okay, not much has happened with much of our characters. They didn't really develop much in 1 year. The animation and art style don't look good. Everybody in the world's handling this with the least amount of urgency as possible. Like, all these things sadly piled up and weighed it down. The only thing I could possibly say that's like super positive, I like the opening. The opening reminds me of a late 90s, early 2000s opening. I do like that. That's it. But hopefully it gets better. We just hopped into the time skip. Hopefully things improve from there. So I will see y'all then, everybody. Thank you all so much. Tyrone TG3.